Hi, it's Cheryl with Caribou Country Lifestyle. So today it is my seed starting series. We are on episode 4, and today we are going to be doing mostly onions, leeks, and herbs. So I also want to talk about some of the techniques of sowing that I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be doing a multi-sowing method. I have some 3x5 containers, and that's these ones here, just a 3x5 container. I will just be sowing my seeds over top of the soil on those, but I also have some 4 cells, just 4 separate cells, and these are the ones that I'm going to be sowing 4 to 5 seeds on top in each cell, and I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to thin them out in these 3x5 cell trays. When I go to plant those out in the garden, I'm going to split them up and plant them individually, but I am going to be doing some of these multiple sowing. So let's get started. So I have all my trays set up. I've got the soil in there. I've already had the bottom water feeding for the water to soak up into the soil. So everything's ready to go. I have my tags are all labeled. So our first one on this side is the Elsa Craig. These Elsa Craig seeds that I have, I actually got those from my sister. She lives in Saskatchewan, and they take 95 days to mature. And it says to sow these anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, but you can sow them earlier if you want. This week we are at actually 10 weeks before our last frost. So I'm just going to empty this bag right onto my plate. I might not be able to do the multi-sowing with these because I don't have as many seeds that my sister gave me. Not that I'm complaining. I mean, I am just thankful that I'm able to grow these. So what I might end up doing is I probably could get away with putting 3 seeds together instead of doing 4 or 5 of these ones. So I'm just going to pick out 3 seeds and put them each in these little 4-cell trays. And I still have quite a few here on the plate, and I will just sprinkle them over the soil and let those grow together. So that's the Elsa Craig. She also gave me some ruby red onions, and these ones actually take 100 to 110 days. And we will do the same. I have quite a few more of these. And I will put 5 in each one of these. So this is my leeks and this is my ruby red. So I will put 5 in that one. And then once the seeds I take them out to plant in the garden, I will not be splitting up these multi-sown seeds. And then the rest of these I'm just going to sprinkle over the top. I may not do all of them, but I'll do a good majority of them. I would like to have as many onions as I can. And I have the 3 varieties. I think I'll save the rest of these. I'll just put them back in my little baggie. I'm going to put it closer over this tray just in case I drop one off of the edge of the plate. It'll fall into the ruby red tray and not into my next one, which is the Walla Walla onions, is what I'm going to be doing next. Okay, so now we'll move on. Actually, maybe I'll do the leeks next. And you can do the multi-sowing of the leeks. In that, you don't put quite as many, and I have a lot of leek seeds, so that's awesome. So in the leeks, I will put 4 in the multi-sowing side in each cell. You can't see where you've put the seeds because they're black and the soil is pretty dark with it being wet. Now these leeks, I'm just going to sprinkle these over the soil as well, and then I will split them up just like I would do with the onions. Okay, I'm going to put these back into their bag. And again, I'll dump it over this tray. That way, if I lose any, they'll fall right into the leek tray. Okay, next is going to be the Walla Walla onion. The only variety that I have actually grown is the leeks. I haven't grown any of these onions from seed. I usually were growing onions in the sets, and I decided that I wanted to try, okay, I'm gonna put 5 because I'm doing the onions again. So I've been wanting to, I did the sets and I've been wanting to try to grow my own onions from seed. I did do it one year, but the seeds were so old that they didn't even take. And onion seeds actually are one of the few seeds that actually don't have a very big shelf life on them. Those are seeds that you definitely want to be using up within a couple of years. And I think mine were like over 10 years old and they didn't take at all. So I'll just sprinkle these over here. The Walla Walla, that's an heirloom variety. And it's quite a large onion. It says it can measure up to 5 inches across. And good for eating raw or for cooking. Okay, so I'm going to dump these over this tray because that's my Walla Walla onion tray. And then we're going to go into planting the herbs. Now our first one that we're going to be planting is the oregano. And I'm just going by whatever seed, the tag that I have made out, that's the plants that I'm going to be growing. And they're in one of these little wax paper envelopes. And again, I'm going to dump that out onto my little plate. And I'll just take a few, they're quite small, so I'm just going to take a few and I'm going to just do, since this is a 3x5 tray, I'm going to just take a little pinch of however many seeds I get, and I'm going to do 6 sowing spots. Oops, I didn't get any of those seeds. I noticed they were still on the plate. Okay, so I'll put these back into this bag, and then I will put them back into this bag here. Okay, that was the oregano. I actually haven't grown a whole lot of oregano. I have grown thyme and basil. So the next one actually is thyme. They're a little bit bigger than the oregano was, and I'm going to do the same method. I'm just going to drag across however many seeds I get under my finger, and I'll put them in 6 separate spots. And that'll be done for that one. I'm gonna have to get a little baggie for these ones because I don't have them in a little plastic baggie, and I want to get in the habit of putting my seeds into the plastic bag. Now for thyme, they're actually great fresh or dried. You can use them in soups, sauces, seafood, dishes, and you can use them for meat and for poultry as well. I'm gonna try and get all of these. Yeah, I got them all. And these thyme takes 85 days to maturity. And you plant them 1/4 of an inch deep. Next is basil, and I plan on doing both of these 3x5 inch trays. I'm doing it both of them in basil. I'd like to grow as much basil as I can. I have never really grown a lot of basil, but I just want to try and grow as much as I can. I've been interested in doing some basil tea, and that is something that you can make and have it steep and then put it into a pitcher or a jar after it's done steeping, before it totally cools right off, and you can add in honey to it. Stir that honey up into the tea, add a little bit of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and all you really need is 1/2 of a freshly squeezed lemon into each jar, and then you can store it in your fridge and drink it over ice. So I'd like to try some of that. I have the Tulsi basil as well, which is the holy basil, Tulsi, and I drink a lot of, I buy the actual Tulsi tea, and it's great for your digestion. So the same with regular basil is really good for your digestion too. So I'd like to try and get into the habit of drinking the different types of basil tea. So that is those. I'm going to add some soil over top, and I don't need very much because it was saying 1/4 of an inch for all of these, and I am just Gonna do a light sprinkle of soil over top. This soil that I let soak up the water is quite wet. So when I put the lid on, one of the domes on, it doesn't take long to actually soak up this drier soil that I'm sprinkling over top. It doesn't take much to soak that soil that I'm putting up over top, and then the next thing you know, it's totally wet as well. The great thing about using those domes is it increases the humidity, which helps germinate your seeds. Sometimes I'm even giving it a light little spray with my sprayer of water over top of it, and I can do that too. Okay, almost done. Once I'm done sowing all these seeds, then I'm going to take you to have a look at how my seedlings are going that I have started over the last couple of weeks. And we'll take a look and see how they're doing. I've taken a lot of the plastic off of a lot of them, as I have mentioned before. Once your seedlings sprout, you're going to want to take that plastic off, and if they're on a heat mat, you're going to want to take them off of the heat mat as well and just have them put under the lights. Okay, we're going to move on. Next is parsley. I'm doing two types of parsley. I have this is the curled parsley. And the curled parsley, I actually do plants for myself, but I also do some plants for a friend, because she just likes the curled parsley. She'll grab a sprig of that and just pop it in her mouth and eat it. It's great for, I know back in the day when you used to go to the restaurants and get a meal, they would put parsley on the side of your plate. And that was, you would pop that, eat it, and especially if you were eating something that was strong flavor, like a lot of garlic, maybe a Caesar salad or whatever, that hot parsley actually helps to reduce the garlic breath that you might have. So I just wanted to move the seeds into a Ziploc bag and put it back in there. So, and the other kind of parsley that I have is plain flat leaf parsley. I like that one as well. Pardon me. Because it actually has quite a bit more of a stronger flavor to it than the curled parsley. So for cooking with, if you're doing any meat sauces like spaghetti sauce, pasta sauce, anything like that, that's when the flat leaf parsley is nice. The curled leaf parsley is good for soups. And then it also has, a lot of the professional chefs will use the flat leaf parsley over the curled parsley. Just more of a full-bodied flavor. It says you could use it in a variety of meals, especially salads, potatoes, carrots, and egg dishes. So I'm going to get a little Ziploc bag for that one as well. And I grew both of these last year also. Okay. Pop that in there. Another one. Okay, next is going to be borage. borage is a great, holy, I forgot how big these seeds were. Well, I won't have to put more than one seed in, I don't think. The leaves that have the cucumber taste. The flowers, you can actually put them in ice cube trays when you first pour the water into the ice cube. And I'm going to grab a little baggie before I forget. And then you can put those into some type of a punch, whether it could be even into a white wine for it as well. The leaves can be used for salads, pickles, cream cheese, and also cooked as a vegetable, like a side dish, and you can eat it like you would spinach. These plants get 2 feet high. So it's a very versatile plant for the flowers and for the leaves. I tried this last year and I got the plants to grow, the seedlings started, but when I went and planted them in the ground, they didn't make it. And I'm not sure exactly what happened that they didn't make it. Okay, so next is going to be the holy basil. And this is the tea that I actually buy in the store. So I'd really like to be able to make my own tea out of the holy basil. And holy basil will actually reseed itself if left in the garden. And I've done that as well. Okay. So this one, I am going to just put the seeds aren't really small, but they're not overly big neither. So I think I'm going to put 3 seeds in 6 spots. And this plant gets about 1.5 to 2 feet high. The leaves on it are very scented as well. They have kind of a spicy clover-like scent. They have a very spicy clover flavor, and they're very popular in tomato dishes, soups, stews, spaghetti, fish, poultry, and salads. And you can grow these indoors or outdoors. I might be able to get these into this little paper bag. Yeah, I didn't have to put them back into the bag and then switch them over. They actually did pretty good. And then my 2 new herbs that I'm doing are, this is a lemon basil. So I'm going to try the lemon basil. And I didn't open up this package in advance. Let's see if I can open it with my, nope. I'm going to have to use scissors. I have those 2. Try to make sure I have everything down here that I need. Okay, so I've never grown the lemon basil before. This is my first year, and like I say, I want to be able to use this in a tea. So this container here is 2.5 by probably about 3.5 inches. And this plant will get 18 inches high. It had the leaves on it have a very distinct lemon flavor to them, combined with spiciness of regular basils. Just going to dump that in here. So what I did was I just put 3 seeds in 2 spots. And I think that's all I need. This one is actually really good in tomato dishes, seafood, chicken dishes, salad dressings, and soups too. And with the leaves, you can dry them or you can freeze them to preserve the leaves. So, and I plan on using the leaves for making tea as well. Then I have my last one that I'm going to be starting today, and I'll get my scissors to cut that one as well, is lemon balm. And the lemon balm, this is supposed to be a perennial, and it's 2 feet tall, has opposite heart-shaped leaves. So if you can see that there. And what else? I've never grown this before. Doesn't tell you what you would use this in, which is interesting. I'm just going to do the same. I will put 3 seeds. Make sure I'm putting it in the right one. Yep, that's a lemon balm. 3 seeds and 2 spots. I'm not sure. It says it's a perennial, but we're in a zone 3, so I'm not sure if it's a perennial that would be good for in our zone, or is it good for a higher zoned area? That's what I'm not exactly sure about. I'm going to look it up in my book as well, and I will see. Leaves, when squeezed, give a lemon scent, used for salad, soups, stews, and teas. And that's another one that I plan on using in a tea as well. I also have received my T&T order. So I was telling my sister on the phone, I had put this order in through T&T, and they're based out of Manitoba. I'm from British Columbia, Canada, and Manitoba's like, I would probably say, well, that part of Manitoba would probably be up to a 20-hour drive from where I live. So I put my seed order in, and I actually put that order in February the 3rd, because I was trying to get the seed order in by the 15th of February. Because if I had my seed order in by the 15th of February, and as long as you had a minimum of $100 order, you could get 10% off. Well, my order was almost $300. So I was really wanting to get that 10%, because that $30 that I would have saved would help with the shipping and handling of them sending it to me. So I hadn't noticed it coming off of my credit card. I had faxed it to them on the 3rd of February from my work, and I tried sending them an email, and she had emailed me back saying, oh, we still have quite a few orders to go through. I'm sure it's here. And I'm started panicking, and I'm telling my sister that I just want to know that they got the order because I want the 10% off. So it was actually after the 15th, and I had called them. I think I called them on the 18th or the 19th or something of February. And I called them and asked them told them what my customer number was, and asked them if they had received it. And she said that they hadn't. And I was like, oh, shoot, because I was trying to get this 10% off. And she said, well, send it to us. We'll talk to our manager and we'll see what we can do. So I emailed it to them. They got it. They actually still gave me the 10% off. So that was awesome. And I got my seed order in. And a couple of the things that I ordered was I got, because I'm trying those hikuri salad turnips. That was one thing I had ordered from them. And then the other thing was the hybrid tumbling yellow cherry tomatoes that you can put into a hanging basket. I had got those from them. I have my box down here. I also got, this is my pack of 10 wires, and these are hoops for garden blankets. So I'm planning to do some in-ground gardening, and I want to be able to use these to put cover over top of, and use these hoops, use a cover over top for pest protection, because we have those cabbage moths that lay the eggs in the spring. Well, I could use this for over top and put a cover over top to keep the moths off from laying their eggs. That way then they don't, and those, once the eggs develop, then you end up with the cutworms that end up decimating your crop fairly quickly if you're not on top of it. The other thing I got, I'm trying to get them out, was I got a 50 pack of the cozy coats. And these cozy coats are what I use in the garden to put over top of my tomato plants as a protection. And this year I wanted to try and experiment by taking the plants out earlier. My last frost date is supposed to be June the 2nd. And I'm going to try and plant my tomato, I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to plant some of my tomato plants the middle of May and use these cozy coats around them, and we'll see how much that they'll protect my tomato plants. A little bit of an experiment. So let's go take a look at my plant stand, and I'll show you some of how some of my seeds are doing, the seedlings. Okay, so these are my new LED lights that I have, and the name brand of these are the Barina. And it's funny because we got a little pamphlet that comes with these lights, and it doesn't say what the actual luminars are of these lights. So we're not exactly sure what it says 24 on the top here. It says 42, the power is a 42 watt, and they're a full spectrum light. What else does it say? 50 to 60 Hz. The unfortunate thing is I'm not very experienced with LED lights. I'm so used to having, putting in some of the green growing lights that you purchase with the shop lights. You can get the grow spectrum lights, and I always had one grow spectrum light and then a regular daylight in my shop lights, but these are totally different. So I haven't worked with these much before, but I waited until I had enough trays started that I could actually use my LED lights. So here I start with my pepper seeds, and then the next two, these are all peppers. This one here is celery, and then I have my geraniums that I started. These, I just taken them off. They were in total darkness, and that's my pansies. And I have just put them under the lights as well now. And then this one here is another one of the pansies from over on this side. I didn't have enough, I didn't have a tray that had a spot for them, so I just plunked them into here. I've got chamomile in the back, my foxglove, they have all sprouted. This is my rosemary, my little darling snapdragons. These are the carnations, my little mini mix snapdragons. These are all the mini mix snapdragons. Then I'm going to come over to my other tray on this side, and these are the herbs and my onions that I just started. I almost forgot to put a little dusting of soil over top of my seeds on these herbs in here, and then I have my herbs and my onions down there. Here, these are my sweet peppers, still waiting for them to sprout, still have the cover on that. And then in here, this is, what's in this one? The Total Darkness. I had to turn it around. I forget which one this is. Let's take a look. I'll just turn this. Oh, my echinacea. So, that's in Total Darkness. And I'm sharing the heat mat for that one with the peppers. And then once the echinacea has sprouted, then I will take the cover off of that, and that will go under the lights as well. Just also want to show you, look at how nice my geraniums are doing. These are the geraniums that I have overwintered. And I have 7 of those, and they're the assorted color geraniums. I did do a bit of research online about these lights. So for these lights, you want to have your seedlings and germinating, if you're germinating them or putting your seedlings in, you want to have them 15 inches from the light. So I measured these and we're exactly 15 inches. Once they're actually growing, like what they're saying is, if, what was it? I wrote this down so I would remember. Vegetative and growing, if that's what you're doing with plants, like if I was to put those geraniums over here, I would have them 10 inches from the lights. And if they are a flowering or a fruiting plant, again, you would have them 10 inches from the lights. So that's good to know. So I think so far I think I'm doing it right. It's always a learning curve when you get something new and you're not exactly sure how to use it. So I was glad that I found some information on here, because I know when Jamie was looking it up, he was having a hard time finding out any information about these lights, because they give you this pamphlet and it doesn't tell you really anything about the lights. I also have wrote all of the seeds that I started for today, and I never thought to mention to you what I put in the book. So when I'm writing these in, I'm putting how many days that they take, reading off of the back of the package, how many days they take to germinate, and how many days it takes for these to mature. But thanks for joining me. I hope you liked this video. If you did like the video, throw a like in there. And if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. So we'll see you again next weekend when we start some more seeds, and hopefully you'll follow us then. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.